Hi guys, I'm ExactChaos and welcome back to another episode of Cities Skylines. We're playing Parklife, and first things first, I'm gonna tell you about a brand new mod that I've picked up, and I'm definitely gonna grab it. Or show you about it. It is absolutely awesome. So it is called the Parallel Road tool, and it's in beta at the moment, so if it doesn't quite work all the time, be fair on these guys, but I'm sure it's perfect. What it does is it allows us to build these kind of highway networks, but in parallel without having to struggle so much like as we've been doing. So let's switch on this. You can actually say which parallel streams you would want and how far they should be apart, and whether it's reversed or the same direction. So let's start with a parallel two-lane highway as we're building it over here, and we will squiggle it around a little. Let me just move this out of the way a bit. Yeah, that's probably a bit better. And we will squiggle it around a little. Yeah? Yeah? How's that, guys? A perfectly parallel highway going over everything. Okay, there's still some trees in there, but that's great. How is that? That's absolutely awesome. Now, of course, what you can do is you can then move this, say, oh, I want it nice and far apart, so let's make it 44 or something like that, so it'll be nice and far apart. So we will do that. So that gives us a nice far apart section. So now we can build a nice little rail in here. We can have our rail stations in there, all those kind of things. It's easier to do the interchanges and the likes, and it's perfectly parallel. That is the thing that is really amazing me. The other thing you can of course do is do two. Oh my goodness. So what you could do pretty much is now you can say different types of roads. So what I'm wondering is if you can actually do actually hang on, let's go out of there, let's grab the let's do this. So now what this effectively means is this will be the same direction, and those two will be opposite directions. Okay, so if we do this, okay, we can have perfect service roads. All we need to do is make sure that we have them in the appropriate spacing. So let's say we go this to 16, then that, of course, what we need to do here is so 16, and then we want to, so now we need to add these together. So let's say we want a 40 section in between. So 16 plus 40 then gives us 56. Okay, and then we want a 16 section again. So 56 plus 10 is 66 plus 6 is 72. So that, I believe, will give us a nice setup for like a service road. Okay, so let's say if we do that, how is that? Get out of here so I can have a look. I think there's something a little bit off with my my spacing, which is fine. I mean, obviously I did that very quickly, but this is going to be amazing. So now we're going to do service roads and highways and rail tracks and everything. And to be honest, we probably can add rail tracks in the center there too. Give me this tool. I want to check it out one more time. So if I now say, so first that, then and we're going to add an extra one in there. Then what I want here is rail. All kinds of stuff here, but all I want is basic rail. Can we do rail? Oh, there's pedestrian stuff, gravel paths, bus depot road. I've got too much stuff here. Shipping line, airport runway. So certainly we must be able to get rail. Train tracks. There we go. Train tracks in there. Okay, so let's try and do this. So we're starting off with the two-lane highway. Okay, let's get rid of all of these. Okay, and let's stop that, and let's start a new section. I'm gonna do the just gonna start it out, and maybe just almost just a straight section is probably gonna be good for us right now. So highway ramp. Okay, so we need 5 things. The first thing is the highway ramp, then it is the two-lane highway, 2 or 3 lane. Basic road, 1 lane, Man, there's a lot of stuff, so it's going to take a bit of time to sort that out. 4-lane, asymmetrical, 2-lane, 6-lane, 6-8. Where do we get the 2-lane highway? 2-lane highway. Then we're going to have the rail. Do we? Oh, that doesn't work. So now we need to do rail. Okay, so this will take a bit of time to set up, but once you've set it up, and maybe we can I don't think we can save templates, but if we could save templates, that would be pretty good. Basic road, rail, where is, I thought we saw the rail. Water pipe, my goodness, you can add water pipes. Canals. This will be perfect parallel stuff all the time, which is stuff you struggle with so much. Train tracks or train line. No. Train tracks, not train line. Train line is a bus thing. Okay, train tracks. Then 2-lane highway again. Man, this is a. It's not even. Yeah. So this little list is a little difficult to handle. 2-lane. 2-lane highway, 2-lane highway, and then highway ramp. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so now let's space it out. So we're doing 12. Then we're doing 24. Then we're doing... Oh, so now they're all perfectly spaced. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, so just a straight line like that, and there we go. Look at that. How about that? Huh? Look at that. So highway, and of course what we need to do is these two needs to go into the opposite direction. So if we do that section again, how is that is just absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. Now what we need to do is we need to space the tracks out a little bit. So what I'll do is the tracks will add an extra 6 on both sides. So this one be 30. So it's in 12 intervals now. So now this one is 30. And then that one, it needs to be 18 on top of that, so that's 48, and then it's going to be 12 again, so that is going to be 60. Okay, so that, I believe, will give us a better, and maybe let's move it out here a little bit, a better separation between that. See? How awesome is that? And this for final measure, and I've been wasting a lot of time on this, just for final measure, but this is amazing. I am in love with this. Look at that. Look at that. My goodness. Perfectly spaced. Perfectly spaced. I am absolutely in love with this tool. So get it immediately. Parallel road tool. It is absolutely amazing. Okay, let me I may leave anyway, let's just get rid of all of this. But that is absolutely amazing. I'm going to use that so much now to lay out highways. It's just not even funny. I may come back and do all of this bulldozing later because you guys don't want to see it. Okay, so let's see what else I want to do. I wanted to add some more parking. Since this parking is absolutely so popular, I wanted to add more parking, so I added a little section in here. And what I'll do is, in all of these areas, I'm going to add little bits and pieces of parking. Maybe not in the low density, but everywhere we've got pretty high density stuff, I'm going to add little bits and pieces of parking. Maybe just a little piece, even in parks and so on, just to make sure that we actually do accommodate the people's needs in terms of parking. Okay, so let me grab, what is that? Walls and fences, under walls and fences. I've got curb. I've got this is a new one, the curb network one, and let me just make sure that we switch that off. I don't want to use curb of that, so medium curb, large curb. What I'm just going to do is I'm just going to run that in say there. So if I run it straight line, and actually curb should just not we shouldn't be snapping the curb. So if I just do something like that, how does that go? I'll just move it, and we will actually let me select all of my edges over there, and let's page it up a little, and let's move it over ever so slightly. So that gives us a little bit of a better look and feel right in there. So that's one cool extra mod that I've picked up too. So that looks a little bit better. Now let's quickly lay out the parking in here. I want to do a bit more of this parking thing. And what I need to do is get the big stuff over here. And I'm hoping... Okay, so certainly that is out. Someone in the comments said something about topography not being an issue anymore, but certainly I don't see the topography all the time, so the topo tool is still fairly relevant. What I do want to do, however, is make sure that we raise this to an appropriate level. Are we getting them out of there? Come on. Okay. Oh, it's not working. It's not working. I'm not getting this to rise up at all. So let me, if I kind of squeeze that in there. Excellent. Actually, we need to be straight on over the top of it. So we'll add a bit of this. Let's just get our wheel stops and so on aligned over there with the curb. Yeah, something like that. Plop that down. So there it is. Now what I want to do is... oh, additional coverage? My goodness. I didn't even know that. Anyway, that's fine. I don't need additional coverage for this. But what I do need is to move it, grab this, and then raise this. Shouldn't be right. So this thing... Okay, there it goes. So it's just that little prop thing that's not working too well. But there you go. So let me quickly... what I'll do is I'll use move it to copy it. So it's exactly the same. And we'll squeeze it in. Perfectly over there. Perfectly over there, and kind of perfectly like so. That's pretty good. Now this little section over here, let's quickly add a bit of parking in there. How can we... That's too little. How's this? That's kind of probably what we need. We'll need to do that straight from above again. So if we do that, and now this is going to be tricky because I can't actually see it. Like so. My goodness, that's going to be tough. There you go, that's the piece. There we go, that's the final piece. Let's, can we rotate this? Anyway, let's rotate it that way. Okay, parking there, and parking there, and parking there, and that's okay. Let's leave it like that. There we go. So we've got some added parking in there. So guys, we'll probably start using that ASAP to come and get to places. I'm thinking the office area over here needs a bit of parking. Could it be on the other side of the road? I'm not too sure about that. What we could do is we could do little bits and pieces of parking over here. So what I'm going to do, and that's I think part of the whole kind of let's fill things in a little bit, is if we do that. So let's say we, and now we can get our snapping back on. So let's say we just gonna do that, right? So we're gonna lose those two over there, fine, but we'll do a little bit of parking in that space. So we'll do that. We'll do a bit of parking there, and I mean a little bit of stuff there, and we'll do this one over here. And what we'll do is we'll try and do a little piece like that, and a little piece like that. Okay, so at least there's some parking going on, and now we just need to kind of fill that in. And what is the most appropriate way to do it? Something like that. 3x2. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good size right there. Look at all the cop cars coming in. Something must have happened. So we'll do one there. We'll do one there. There you go. So parking in there. A bit of parking on this side too. Excellent. So now you've got some parking spaces available for these guys coming to work, doing their thing, coming to the shopping areas. We can link these two up together. So that's kind of what I like to do, is just let's just add a bit of parking. What I'm thinking is let's add a bit of parking at the back here. So if I take the parking piece right over there, we'll run it. And what's our... Okay. So if I just do a little one like that, I don't want to get too close to the interchange, right? So, and then we kind of do this piece and that piece right over there. So there's some parking towards the back there. Not a lot, but there is some parking available here. That's too big. That can actually work quite well. Like so. There we go. Some parking over there. If we overlap it too much, but one overlap is not going to be the end of the world. We'll do one there, and we will do one there. There you go. So there's some parking over there. I like just filling in a little bits of parking in a number of spaces, because people are obviously in need of some parking if we don't have all the public transport available to them. Oh, look at this, filling in quite nicely. Cars being flying in the air yet again. So in between episodes I'll try and sort this out a little bit. That's the one piece about this mod or tool that doesn't quite sit well with me, is that, but that's okay. Did we want to do a little bit of parking over here? I kind of think this section is probably a good piece for also, so let's add a little bit of parking right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run it right off of there. Okay, just like that. What we're going to do is we're going to try and do a nice wide piece up to... Oof, that does not sit too well with us, does it? Wow, that is a bit of a problem. So let's pull that big piece out there, and we'll just do a much more normal size. Yeah, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. So, you know what I think happens is I think the whole other parking thing still go, or the parking decals still follow the same, the same piece. So that's too much. That is just about right there. So so what we'll do is we'll squeeze one in there and one in there. So we've got some parking on this side. I don't know how well that's going to work, but we should also be connecting this with some footpaths. Good stuff. That's okay. So let's grab some paths. So let's go to the park tool here. City park is what I'm after, and now let's see about at least removing. Ooh, we've got anarchy on. Let's switch that off first, and this is what I want to get rid of. So if we do something like that, right, does that actually link us up? So if we do that, apart from that, that looks pretty good. But does that actually work? Can people walk from the parking in there? Because that's kind of what I'm going for, getting people to walk from the parking then back to wherever they want to go. Parking here is working. Oh, let's check them out. Are they going there? Oh yeah, nice. I like it. So that actually works. So all I now need to do is make sure that we actually link these with some paths also. So I'm pretty keen on linking these up like so, and then of course something like snapping, come on, snapping, like so, and then take snapping off again, and this time I want to run it like that. Yeah, and I'll get rid of that piece. So now you can actually walk from the parking to the other side. Not sure this side is equally as important, but for consistency's sake we'll try and do a little something like that. So if I, yeah, that actually works a little, almost worked. So if we try and run it straight a bit like so, and now, okay, now oh my goodness, come on, just do that. Oh, actually I didn't want to do that. I want this thing to be I wanted this thing to be much more manageable, so put that down on the ground. Let's make sure to put that on the ground straight away. And let's just switch on anarchy so we can stop with the messing about here. Do that, and then I'll just do move it, and we're just gonna tweak it a little bit so that it kind of hugs the area over there. There we go. There you go, so that parking is connected over there. I think this parking should be fine, and it is getting pretty busy. This parking is pretty finely connected right as is. Okay, so that's good stuff right there. Parking is done. I've got this awesome new mod, and I'm pretty keen on testing it out. So there's two things. I want to do a bit of a highway into this side, but I also want to see about doing a highway over here. So that's a rail connection. The question that I kind of ask myself is, should I redo this piece so that I can run the rail in there? And I am quite tempted to do so. I'm quite tempted to redo this section here so that I can run the rail in between and then run the rail up here somewhere as we do that. So let me quickly do that. Let's get rid of this that we have here. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll start it from this point. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll get rid of this. Okay, we'll go all. So we'll try and see about maintaining some of the stuff that we've built. So let's get rid of all of that. And we'll do a similar thing on this one right over here. Okay, now that is now what I'm gonna try and achieve. I'll probably have to get rid of more of this anyway as we go. Okay, so now let me get this highway tool. Highway, the 3-lane. Please allow for snapping. We wanted to, yeah, it's fine. I don't necessarily want to use anarchy right now. Okay, so get rid of that. Let's do this. I just want to do, so let's do this. So let me get a 3-lane highway. Actually, no. Oh yeah, and another one. So in here, actually, what I want to do is I want to do the rail. So get the train tracks. Where can I find the train tracks? This list is a little bit too long. We need to be able to search it or something like that. Train tracks right over there. What was that? Did I see? Oh, hang on. Not that one. Train tracks, train station track. Interesting. I think there's too much of this going on. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to, let's quickly see how that looks if we, oops, start it on the ground, please. So if we do that, that looks pretty damn decent. But what I think is I need a little bit more space. So the train tracks will be at, let's say 20. Okay, so hang on, what was that? 22. So it's 22 apart because I think that's kind of the width of it. So let's do 20. Let's do 30, and then 30 again. I'm guessing like 60. Yeah, because that should do the trick. So let's quickly have a look at how that works. That is awesome. So what I'll need to do is I'll need to run it through here somewhere. So give me this tool. What we'll do is we will run it through there. Oh, and I forgot to actually change the direction. So what we'll do is we will this is gonna be pretty damn tight. So let's actually try one from this side. Oh yeah. So if we do, that's, how on earth are we gonna get, oh hang on, let's start it straight. Okay, if we start it straight like that, oof, that's tight. Yes, that's hugging the line over there. And let's do that section. Yeah, we shouldn't be doing it from both ends, I think. That's okay. We're learning. So you really should only be doing it from one side. The one that is gonna give you the most grief, you should give it from that side and then start tweaking it from the other side. So let's get that back in there. I most certainly do not want this to be doing that. Yes, again with this. Okay, so let's do this. So again, it needs to go from one side and from one side only, otherwise it's going to be hell. Otherwise it's going to be hell to get it done. Okay, so let's try that again. And now what we'll do is we will just say, on the ground please. And what we'll do is we will just tie it in. Are we not snapping? We are. So where is our guideline? Okay. Something like that. Okay, good stuff. And what I'll do is I will cut this out a little bit. Okay. And trim that back. And what we'll do is we'll just take off the parallel section. And now we will do a little something like that. And we'll use move it to see about tweaking it a little. So we need one to go a little this way, we need one to go a little that way, and then this is our highway network. So the interesting piece now is we will be able to connect that up this way. So what I'm going to kind of keen on doing is we'll trim this back a little bit like so. Okay, and then this one we're going to put straight down a level, please. Just make sure we ground that a little like so. That's pretty good. Now here, this one we'll have to, almost thinking we'll trim it back one more a little, and then what we'll do is we'll do that, and we'll use move it to tweak it out a little. Okay, so we'll do that. We need to slowly start moving it out of the way. Okay, so from there, okay, it's this there, then this one needs to go ever so slightly, actually that one probably needs to go straight, and then this one needs to go ever so slightly into this direction, and that piece needs to just do that. I think there we go. So now we're actually we've realigned this piece of highway over here to actually accommodate a rail right in the middle. Okay, so that we could actually do an nice interchange. We can run the rail from there. What I'm keen on doing is give me my Let's just grab the this piece and just fix that up again. Okay, so something like that, and similarly on this side over there. So we just fix that piece up again, so that's tied in again nicely. On this side, I am quite keen on maintaining the curvature of this piece. So what I'm keen on doing is just doing that. Okay. Oh, hang on. Get rid of that. Was doing something like this instead, so that's a little funny. So let's grab the move it stuff, and we'll start raising these things up a little. Okay, even a little more, and tweak it out there a little. Yeah, that's pretty good actually. Do that a little, give it a little bit more flair there. And then that piece, we need to raise all of that up a little. Just like that. This piece will bring back a little. We'll raise that a bit. We'll raise this a bit. Just so it looks a little bit more natural. And there we go. So there we go. Put that back in there. What I'll do is I'll move this a little, and we'll see about tweaking that a little bit. Okay, let me raise this piece up a little bit more. We'll bring it a little forward here, do that a little, do that a bit, and see, yeah, that I think that works quite well. So there we go, we've re-established that piece, and it looks a little bit more like it's kind of following natural things and so on. So you get off of there, you go up there, and you do that. And both of them do that. That's pretty good. So now what we can do is we can run the rail through here, go over the top or underneath, and we can pop it up in here. Actually, an underneath section through here would be look pretty good. So what I'm going to quickly do is I'm going to tie that in over here. So what we'll do is let's grab the rail. Yeah, snapping is on. Get that there. We'll grab this rail piece, and what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to see about doing a little something like that. I think that's okay there. Yeah, that's pretty good. And now what what I'm going to want to do is actually do a bit of a S-curve thing over here. So let's quickly switch off the snapping. Okay, and I want to do this. Okay, not snap, and do that. Okay, nice. Now we've got a nice thing there. What I want to do now is get rid of that piece. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll use move it to see about creating a nice, more natural kind of underpass here. So if I do that piece, and we see about dropping that down even more, like so. Perfect. And we'll see about getting the rest sorted out. Then what I want to do is grab this piece, and of course I want this to be a bridge section, and probably about as straight as we can get it over there. So there's a bit of a bridge, highway bridge section through there, allowing for a bit of room for the rail to go underneath and into there. And let's grab the rail, and we'll quickly tie this together in a nice and orderly fashion. So there you go. So that's a little bit tight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that slope to actually naturally move a little bit more. So this is a little funny that we're getting that. Ah, there we go. That's much more natural. That is going to be much more. Oh, hang on. We're still not quite there yet. Can we? Ah, that's the one. That is the one we want. A fairly natural incline up that mountain right there. Mountain. Up that hill. With a bit of an underpass underneath the highway. And we need to clean up this section probably a little bit. That's a very tight, a very tight little curve that we have running there. Oops, wrong one. Gonna need to want to do that a little. Just gonna want to make sure that we maintain our connection through there. If we get that pretty close there, if we get this one over here a little. Can maintain. Well, that's a very tight one for rail, I must say. If we get that out there, can we? I don't think we can get it much closer to that edge. We can do whatever we can to get it a little bit closer here in this movement down there, but that is about it for us. We can't do much more than that. Actually, maybe that is what we will do to make it work a little bit better. That actually looks very nice now. There we go. So that's our rail connection towards that side of the city over there. That, I think that works quite well. Goes a little bit of an overpass over there with a bit of a bridge section. Yeah, works. I think it works. No room for the interchange piece of that, but we will keep that in mind. And there we go. So let's get all of these trucks back onto their pieces of the road. Perfect. There we go. Everything else works quite well. I'm going to move it just a tad over here, and we'll just lift this a little. Or maybe what we should do is just drop that down a bit to just get this bit more natural there. Perfect. So now we've actually used the beta tool right here, and it works quite well. And yeah, I like it. I think most of my highways are now going to be developed in such a fashion. That still looks very tight over there. Perfect, but I am loving it, guys. So if you've enjoyed it as much as I have, hit that button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next piece of it, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.